What is up, all you beautiful mother geekers? I hope everybody's having a great day, great night, wherever you are in the world. If you would be so kind, please do like, share, and subscribe, and comment below. So today I am going to be reviewing Fast 10, or Fast X, or Fasten Your Seatbelts, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, there's yet another movie in the Fast and the Furious franchise, and I, for one, wasn't too excited about it. I didn't even know if I wanted to go see this movie. To be completely honest with you guys, I was just... Look, I'm burned out on this franchise. I'm tired of it. I'm tired watching these movies. I'm tired of being let down over and over again. You know, especially after Fast 9, because Fast 9 was absolutely atrocious. And before Fast 9, Hobbs and Shaw came out, and I really didn't like Hobbs and Shaw either. And I really didn't care much for Fate of the Furious. I didn't think it was terrible, but I didn't care much for it. For me, this franchise really stopped being good after Fast 7. Fast 7 should have been, or Furious 7, that should have been when it ended, in my opinion. But it is what it is. They're going to keep going for as long as these movies make money. So, getting into the positives, one thing you can always count on with these movies is that the action is going to be pretty good. It's going to be fun anyway. If you can turn your brain off, you can have fun with the action in these movies. And Fast 10 really isn't any different. It's just really bonkers, schlocky, over the top, you know, physics-defying, death-defying action that doesn't even somewhat seem realistic for the most part. But it's still a lot of fun. And that is something that I can say about most of these movies, is that if nothing else is good, I can count on these movies to just be fun. Visually speaking, this is also a very good-looking movie. The cinematography, the VFX, for the most part, is very, very good. There's a lot of on-location shooting in this movie. I guess it's on location. I assume it is. And it all looks really good for the most part. Yeah, some of the CGI is a bit wonky, but for the most part, you can definitely see the $340 million budget. Yes, I said $340 million budget on screen. And, you know, whether we're talking visually speaking or just with the bloated cast, because this movie has a huge cast. A huge cast. That just, I don't know, man. $340 million. I can't get over that. And speaking of the bloated cast, you know, the characters in this movie, for the most part, overwhelmingly, play off of each other very well. Especially Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez and Tyrese and Ludacris. Like, they just have a dynamic. And that dynamic comes from all these years of working together. And they all do a really good job. They do. They do a really good job. And the humor really hits in this movie when Tyrese and Ludacris are on screen. I don't know, man. Those two just have great chemistry. And, like, I buy into everything. You know, when these two are going back and forth, I'm buying into it. When these two are bro-hugging, I buy into it. Like, I don't know, man. Like, but the cast, for the most part, like I said, they all feed off of each other very, very well. And it just works. And you have some new additions here. And Brie Larson, Alan Rickson, and Jason Momoa, who, of course, is the villain of the movie. He plays Dante. And I'll get more into Jason Momoa later. But I feel like everyone kind of fits in. I'll go ahead and say this about Jason Momoa because I'm going to get into more about him later. I feel like of everyone, he was easily the most cartoonish and over the top and just batshit ridiculous. Like, if I'm being completely honest, and I like Jason Momoa, I really do. But I'll get into more about Jason Momoa and his character of Dante as this review goes on. Lastly, for the positives, I do feel that the plot of this movie was engaging enough. Like, I saw where they were going with it, and I was definitely buying in to a lot of what they were wanting me to buy into. Like, the plot of this movie is pretty decent. The execution, we can have a different conversation on that. But as far as like the direction and what they're doing, like, I was buying into it. I was like, okay, this is somewhat interesting. So yeah, like I was definitely invested throughout. I would say like 95% of the movie. I was invested, and I'll get into the other 5% momentarily. And if it tells you anything, I wasn't exactly bored watching this movie. For all of the flaws that this movie has, for all of my issues, I was never really bored watching it. And I think that at least says something. This movie does have entertainment value. Now, moving more into the mixed elements of this movie, the first thing that really stands out here is the humor. While some of the humor was there was certainly some funny moments throughout. At times it just couldn't help but just be way too cheesy, way too over the top, and just downright corny. And I would find myself getting taken out of the movie very, very often, especially by Jason Momoa and his character of Dante, who really annoyed me. He annoyed me a lot. And I'm going to get more into Jason Momoa. Like, just keep bearing with me. Like you'll hear more about him when we get to the negatives. But yeah, the comedy just didn't hit for me the way that they wanted it to hit for me, as an audience member. Like, it just didn't work. It just didn't work. But like I said earlier, like the moments with Tyrese and Ludacris, like those were the funniest moments of the movie. There's even a scene with Pete Davidson, who I really don't like. I don't like Pete Davidson at all. But he was funny in this movie. And then there's the soundtrack, which, to be honest with you, I have never really been a big fan of the soundtrack for these movies. Every now and then there's a track that stands out, and I really dig it. Like, I think probably the most catchy song from the Fast and the Furious franchise that I've ever heard was that song by 2 Chainz and who was it, Lil Wayne maybe, but it was that One Shot Everything. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm not going to sit here and try to rap on my YouTube channel. I'll spare you. But you know what song I'm talking about. But for the most part, the music just doesn't work in these movies for me. It's just not my style. Anyways. And then there's the negatives. And the first negative that I'm going to bring up, and here's the thing. Look, I know Jason Momoa is the best part of this movie to a lot of people. I get it. I respect it. I don't agree. To me, he was insufferable. To me, he was annoying. To me, it just went... He went too far. To the point where he was just overly cartoonish. I mean, look, I didn't take this movie very seriously to begin with. But Momoa just... look, he was having a lot of fun here. Alright, and I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that he was having a lot of fun and he was really getting into the role. But he was almost kind of coming across as doing his best Joker impersonation, and I just didn't really dig it. I just didn't. I didn't like the performance. You know, every time he would come up on screen, I would just find myself getting more and more annoyed because to me, it was the weakest part of the movie. If I'm being completely honest, I know some people are going to disagree and say that he's the best part of the movie. That's fair. That's your opinion. I respect it. Again, I just don't agree. Like, I was just not feeling that character. Like, at first, I was like, he's kind of cool. Like the scene with him and Charlize Theron, you know, in that one scene. I thought that was a really good scene. I thought he has some good scenes. But overall, I didn't care for the performance. And then there's Vin Diesel, who, for the love of God, can this man rather, stop trying to be a superhero in these movies? He literally picks up a car that's tipped over. He picks it up with one hand and tips it back over on all fours. There's another scene where he takes a door panel and he's holding it up with one freaking hand, and he's using it as a shield with helicopter bullets coming down from the sky. And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me right now? I can only suspend my disbelief so far. None of that made sense. A lot of the stuff Vin Diesel does in this movie, a lot of the stuff that other people do in this movie doesn't make any sense. Like, at some point, I gotta be able to believe what I'm seeing. I can only suspend disbelief so far. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but I can. I can only suspend disbelief so far. Lastly, and here's the thing, guys. I was somewhat enjoying this movie. I was somewhat enjoying it. I was having fun with it. Despite it being a bit annoying and a bit too cheesy for me at times, I was not hating this movie. I was getting some entertainment value out of it. And then there's this scene where it is revealed that a character who we thought died a few movies back survived. And I was just like, really? Really? And that kind of pissed me off. It actually pissed me off a lot. And here's the thing. They doubled down on pissing me off. Like, I was already like on fire having seen that. Alright. Then this movie ends on a mother friggin' cliffhanger. It ends on a cliffhanger. We're 10 movies into this franchise and they have the audacity. They have the balls. No, they have the audacity to end this movie on a freaking cliffhanger. Are you serious, man? Like, I just... That annoys me. That annoys me a lot. So, yeah, I ended up walking out of the theater really, really mad. Because, again, I was enjoying this movie for the most part. And then I didn't. I ended up walking out of this movie really mad. And here's the thing, man. Like, I would have given this movie a 3 out of 5. I would have. I would have given this movie a 3 out of 5. But because I did somewhat enjoy it. I didn't think it was bad. I knew that I was never going to watch this movie again. But as far as, like, did I enjoy myself? I could say yes. I enjoyed myself. But then the last 5 minutes of the movie happened, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this movie. I'm over it. I'm done. Like, I literally sat up in my chair. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, epic trash is what I kept saying to myself walking out of the theater. But anyways, guys, I don't know. I know this franchise has its fans. I respect that. I appreciate that. But for me, this franchise is dead. I ain't never gonna watch another one of these movies. At least not in the theaters. Maybe if I get bored, I might check it out at home when the inevitable sequel comes out. But yeah, I am never going back to the movie theater to watch a Fast and Furious movie again. I can tell you that right now. But anyways, guys, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. You guys are awesome. And as you can tell, like, I didn't really talk about it at the top of the video, but, you know, hopefully you can tell that the camera quality is better. The sound quality is better. And I don't know how the editing is going to turn out. I don't know yet, like, what I'm going to do with all of that just yet, because I'm going to be doing some new stuff. But, you know, I got some new lighting. I got a new camera. I got a new microphone. And yeah, guys, like, I'm trying to go more legit with this, and, you know, hopefully this video is going to be a good jumping off point for me. And I have not forgotten about the Nightmare on Elm Street review series. For those of you that have been waiting for Nightmare on Elm Street 4 for my review of that, it's coming. And I will admit, I have been putting off watching Nightmare on Elm Street 4 because I'm not really sure how I'm going to like this one. I haven't seen it in a really, really long time. So yeah, I look forward to doing that review and hopefully not pissing people off with my opinions, because I'm pretty sure my opinions on Dream Warriors did not sit well with a lot of you. So yeah. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching again. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment below. Let me know what you thought about this movie. Have you seen it? Are you going to see it? Let me know. And also, what's your favorite movie in this franchise? If you even have a favorite movie in this franchise, just let me know, guys. Again, hit me with a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, hell, hit me with a thumbs down. It all helps, really. It's crazy, but even a thumbs down helps, apparently. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, y'all have a good one.